Hello YouTube. This video is for anybody that is looking for bed mesh values with their Ender Sprite Pro and the CR Touch. This is bed mesh values and to be able to get your probe to measure out here further. I watched a video, guy was very helpful. I'm not putting him down in any way. But his was meshing the bed somewhere around these guidelines here, And when I was doing a print, and a big one, it would, comes out here further. So now it don't know what any of the bed meshing values are here. And it was like not sticking because it was up too high. So this video is to help you do that. What you need to do, you will need to make modifications, what the modifications are and everything, and I will be giving bed mesh values, or your offset values and whatnot. So as you can see, I'm going to move this over slowly because these motors, when you move them, they generate electricity like an alternator. You don't want to fry your board. See how close to the edge this is now? Now if I pull my bed back, how close to the edge this is? Forward. Nice and slow, like I said, this can fry your stuff. I mean, you don't never have a problem with up forward, but you do have the problem that it comes way out forward here, but then you never can get it to come back far enough to probe back here. So this is going to cover all that. So first of all, move this back over out of the way. You will need to modify your Z-axis, your right-handed Z-axis bracket roller. I ground mine down. You can do this one of two ways. You can modify yours, cut it, and all that. Made it easier for me because I had a template. But what I mean by template is I also have an ender3 Max. And this Z-axis bracket, as you can see, it looks just like the one down there that I ground. That is because it is. I took this bracket off of this printer. Then I took it down, took this bracket off this printer. I lined up bolt hole to bolt hole, meshed it all up, got it all level with itself. Took the bolts through there, tightened them down. Now I had the template. I took my scriber and I scribed that shape onto this one, top and bottom. So then I took it to my grinder. I ground in here as far as I could to that line as close as I wanted to, because then I finished it up with my Dremel. Like I said, you can do it, mod it like that. Like I said, it made it easier for me because I had the ender3 Max, so it was a template. And I could get me a nice line and everything. And then I took my Dremel to finish it up and smooth it. Or you could just buy you an ender3 bracket here and bolt that on there. Alright, so that is that part. Now you will be able to bring your head all the way over here. X-axis all the way over. Then you will need to flip your ender3 up on... Oh, let me let that bed come down slowly. I should have pushed it back to begin with. But this is like my 4th iteration with this video, trying to make a good one for you guys. I'm not a professional YouTube video maker, so don't beat me up too bad here. This is to help you guys out, because at the end of the day, we're all in it together, right? Now, to get your probe to measure the back, you need to slide your bed rail up more. So what you need to do is you got these 4 bolt holes underneath here. You will take these 2 out first. Just unscrew them all the way out, take them out, set them to the side. You'll unscrew one of these front ones, take it all the way out, set it to the side. Then you will have to hold this rail and take this other one out, because once you get this out, this bed rail is free. Along with your bed here, this whole thing will fall right off. So hold your rail, take the last front one out. Leave it in there, because now what you're going to do, once you get it out, slide it out a little bit enough, because then you will lift this up. Alright, because you see these two bolt holes right here? What you're doing is you're going to take and slide this rail up till these two back holes in this bed rail come up to these two front bolt holes. There's the original front holes that these were in. So I slid these back ones up to the front ones, and then I watched right here, stuck my screw in, started the threading, screwed it in. Then I put my other one in there, screwed it in, tightened it up. You don't gotta crank it like the bejeebus. But then you're like, well, then how did you get these two bolts in there to hold anything? I didn't have a problem. I ran a little test run. I did not have a problem with just these two, but I didn't like it. So you will need to cut these down. You can't cut them too short. You can cut them too short. Don't cut them too short, is what I'm saying. But you also don't want them too long. There's a fine line here. So, you will need, for these, these are called, let's flip it around here. These are called Series T, or maybe that's 2020 series, T-nuts, or T-slot nuts, whatever. These are what they are. You will need, if you don't want to buy the whole pack and you want to buy just a few, I would just get the whole pack though. You need the M5s, because that's the size of millimeters these bolts are. You need the M5 T-slot nuts. Here's part numbers. If you want to get these ones, part numbers, Amazon. Got them on Amazon. And what they are is, they look like this. I've already threaded this onto a bolt, so they got this little groove down here. This is what they look like. And what they do is they go into this, and they will turn like that. And then as you turn, they won't go any further, but they'll just sit there and let this screw tighten up. See, now that's in there. Because I tightened it up and it bottomed out on this rail top here, inside the rail. That's why you need to cut these bolts down. But like I said, I tightened these up, tightened them down, and then I stuck my bolt in here, and then seeing how much I needed to go, I took it to my grinder. I put the bolt into a drill, with the bolt end sticking out, so that way I can spin it as I push the tip into the grinder head, so it keeps spinning, and then it makes an even cut. Well, not cut, but grind, whatever. It grinds it nice and even. So you spin it at high speed while you put it into there. That makes it like a lathe, kinda, whatever you want to say. I just know that it does a really good fucking job in getting a good bolt end. But you want to screw one of those T-slot nuts, or if you have a nut that fits it, you always want to screw a nut on first. And then, I grind it, and then I'll stick it back in and see when it gets to the point to where it's not hitting this inside channel head here. I ground it until then, and then maybe even just a tiny little bit more, just for good measure, but don't grind too much. And then you will set your printer back down. Obviously, you got to take these back out. You set your printer back down. because now you will need to pull this up so that way you can put your 2 back bolts in and put those nuts on the bolts here. You'll want them to run with the channel, like how I showed you. You want them to, you see how it's fat and skinny. You want them to run with the channel when it's sitting there, so that way it can slip into the channel here. And then you can screw your 2 front ones back into your back bolt holes there. And then after you tighten those, then you'll tighten these. And then that'll clamp it all back down together. Now you got full probe. Full bed probing. That is that step of that. I will plug this back in now. If I didn't mention that I'm not a professional YouTuber, don't chew me up too bad about this video. I'm here to do this for you guys, because we're all in it together. That's what it's all about, helping people out, right? If I can get this stupid plug in here. Alright, I'm going to turn it back on, and I'm going to show you guys. You guys are going to be like, wow, those are some crazy values you got on some stuff that I'm going to show you, but it's what you got to do. There are precautions that you got to take, and we will be going through that. We'll be going through that as I show you this stuff. I got the magnetized bed, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that off right now, because I want to show you guys a little bit on how I fine-tuned this myself. I took my bed off. I got my original glass bed here. And if you guys can see that faint X lines in this bed, I took hairspray and I sprayed a lot of hairspray on this bed just so I can make a layer. And then I took a nice straight flat edge and I scribed, or I put it corner to corner, corner to corner, catty corners. And then I put, the straight line across there. And then I took my scriber and I lightly scribed that line down from corner to corner. And then that gave me a dead center right there. X marks the spot, right? I put that back on my bed here. And then I used these, I don't know, what do you call these? Some kind of paper clip things. Whatever you want to call them. You guys probably know the technical name. Alright. And I just clamped this back down. It's hard to do one-handed. But I clamped this baby back down to the bed. Stupid things. Okay, there's that one on. Let's slide it over to the edge more. Okay. Alright. There's a back one on. And now, let me try and get you guys here. But I made sure that this was, because this glass bed is exactly the same size as my bed here. Try and get this squared up as good as I can for you guys, because this is going to show you my exactness. Now I got this glass bed pretty much exactly flush with my bed. Like I said, it is exactly the same size as this metal bed here. So now, as you see, X marks the spot here. I got these lines. I'm going to show you that this works. Because like I said, you guys are going to see the values I put in here. You guys are going to be like, it's going to scare you guys. Scares me too a little bit, but it works. Just got some precautions that I'm going to go through it with you. You need this professional grade firmware. I'm going back to the home screen. Home screen. This is the professional grade firmware. I don't know why that disappeared right here, but it did. It don't need to say it. So, going to prepare. I'm going to run me an auto build mesh here. As you see, I'm going to click that. It's gonna have to warm the bed up to 60 degrees. Right now it's gonna auto home. And look, as I said, dead center. That touched dead center. Probably can't see it the greatest, but that probe is touching down, X marking the spot. It's going to take a little bit. Like I said, it's got to heat up to 60. I will have to redo this because I will be putting my magnet bed back on. And we're also going to go through setting up your CR Touch to actually contour to your bed. Let's say your bed's doing waving, you know, it's going like that, or it's going like this, or it's going like this. However your bed is uneven, we're going to make this head print, you know, go down with the bed. If it's going down like this, it's going to go down with the bed like that. If it's doing an arch, it's going to come up and go back down with the bed. We're going to cover all that too. Because you don't just put this on there and get your values and then, oh, it's doing that automatically. I learned that the hard way. It does not automatically do that. They don't tell you that. I had to watch a video, another video of a guy that was very helpful. I'm going to cover that with you guys, kind of like an all-in-one video. I'm just teaching you what I have learned and I don't see anything else about. I know it seems like I'm talking a lot, but I want you guys to understand. And some things take a little while, because like I said, I'm going to show you guys that this works. Because you don't want it to be... Right here is your center bed meshing area where it's going to probe. You don't want that center on the bed to be over here. You don't want that to be over here because then that's not accurate, right? So, let me bring you out a little bit more because it's about to be ready, and watch. Alright, see, center. Then you go on corners, see how it's doing, how it's forward, center. It'll do like a circle coming out kind of deal. It does a weird one, but it's kind of like what it does. Now watch when it does these corners here coming out, it'll be dead on this line. See, probing right on that line. Probing right on that line. Right on that line as it goes out. When it's going out to the corners into that spot. Right on that line. It's going to take a while because I did a 9x9 spread here. Because I want it to be the most accurate and know most of the bed. Because you could have a variation with like a 7x7 and all that. You could have a variation between it capturing that spot of the bed to the next one. See, right on the line. Right out there to the edge. Look how close to the edge that's getting. So I'm getting a full bed measurement here. See how far to the back I'm getting? As you guys can see, it was following the line, so see where it's putting the squares down on the bed in relativeness to the probe. It's all on mark. Right on the line, mark that corner. Corner, right on the mark line. Corner, mark line. Corner, mark line. Finished up. I will not. Now when you do this, you'll want to save it, but I'm not going to because this is the glass bed and I'm not saving that on the glass bed. Now, for your values, you will want to still be in your, well, you want to go down here to your home screen, advanced settings. You will be going to mesh leveling. See, I got the 9x9 mesh inset. You want this value, mesh X minimum, at 10. Mesh X maximum, 210. Same for your Y. Minimum Y, 10. Maximum Y, 210. You want to center. Don't put it on max, I think. Yeah, don't put it on max. Put it on center. You know, click that. Click the center. Now, you will go back. Okay, you'll go back again. Probe settings. Probe X offset, negative 38. Probe Y offset, negative 31. Z feed rate 480. Multiple probing, if you want to do that, it'll touch down more than one time in that area. That's up to you. It'll take a lot longer. I enabled HS mode because that keeps that probe down instead of it retracting back up and then having to drop back down. So it's a little nicer that way. MPC settings. You'll want to go into your MPC settings. You want to go into your MPC settings because you'll MPC auto tune. Let's do that. Why not? Alright. It's going to auto home. And what that's doing is it's auto tune for nozzle is running. It's gonna calibrate your nozzle temperature. I figured I'll just go ahead and do this to show you guys, if you guys don't already know. A lot of you guys probably already know a lot of the stuff I'm talking about and certain stuff. This was mainly just for you to see how you get it to come out further, and you'll need the mesh settings for that. You'll also be doing this for your bed. I'm going to show you this. We're not going to do the bed on this video because this stuff just takes too long. Alright, now, physical settings. This is where it gets scary. X minimum position 0. Y minimum position 0. X max position, I put to 290. That means that is how far this can go, which this can't go 290. This can only go 241, I think. It's like 241. So if you ever manually move this XY or this X-axis, do not ever manually move it more than 240, 241, because it will run into that and your belt will be like blah, blah, blah. So that is one of the precautions you got to take. But without this being 290 and your Y max position 292, Z max position 250, and then here is why it will never do this by itself, is because X bed size is your 220, Y bed size is 220. So that is telling it that the physicalness of this running in its program is 220 by 220. So it'll never do that itself. But you can manually make it overdo itself. So like I said, your minimum X and minimum Y is 0. And your X max and Y max is 290. And the reason for that is, if this was not 290, because this is what I don't agree with this system here. If this ain't 290, then go back to your mesh leveling and your mesh inset here. If that's not 290, these mesh X maximums here will never get to 210, which in terms will never let this come out here. I don't understand why that plays a role and how far up this thing can go, but that's what it does. If those aren't set in the physical settings to 290, these will never go to 210. Unless yours will, but I doubt it. But that's the way mine went. These will never get to 210, which, like I said, will never let this come out here and start probing these outsides of the bed here. So that's why I said there are some precautions that you got to take. But like I said, the printer itself will never let that happen while it's printing. So, but if I go back here and I go to move axis, move X. Alright, because this won't move until I click on it, let me move it a little bit more so you can see a little better. Alright, let's go over here. See, this won't. Yeah, let me really crank this up here so you can watch this move. Alright, see, 152.8. Until I push this, that won't move. So I'm going to show you that when you're manually moving this stuff like this in your move axis, it will go to 290. See, it will go to 290, and if I click that, this will run over there and run into that, and you will have a problem. Let me not click it. Remember, don't click that. So never move it more than, like I said, this is good for 241. It actually could probably, it can actually do like 241.9. That won't hit. But you want those values to be even, so that way it's a nice square. And 290 lets you get these . 290 will let you get up to 210 here. Because anything less than that won't let you put these to 210. On one of these, I forget what one, a lower number will let you get to 210. But I figured, 290, because then everything's just symmetrical, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I did. But those have to be in physical settings, the maximum at 290, and that will get you out here. Now, what else did I promise to show you guys? The settings. Oh, and if you want this reading that this does on this bed to implement into your printing, so you're, like, let's say your bed's leveled like this. This is just an over-exaggeration to let you guys know. Alright, your guys' bed is like that, and it probes this, does all the touch points. Those settings, those point measurements will function and implement themselves into your printing, because without doing this, that does not guarantee that measurements that it did for this bed will start down here and then gradually go up with the bed, or wavy like your bed, bowed like your bed, bold like your bed, whatever. So now what you will need to do is come to your computer. If I can get it to turn on. And you will go to either your Cura, if you're running Cura, this is going to be the same thing in your Cura. I just downloaded the Creality slicer. This is your slicer. Cura or Creality. Don't matter. I'm going to click on my Creality one. It's going to be the exact same in the Cura. Let me load this stupid thing up. Come on. Now I don't know if your guys' computer moves faster, but you're about to see my pain I go through with waiting for this. Loading it up. Like I said, if you want that to follow the bed in its program, it just meshed out on there. You gotta do this, because it don't automatically do it. People put it on. I've seen it in some videos in their comments. They're like, you mean to tell me this whole time it ain't been doing nothing? Well, this is why. It has been doing nothing. And I think it's bullcrap. They should have at least told you or something, But they didn't. Because I got this CR Touch, and in the freaking instructions, it mentioned nothing about this. If you guys didn't get to see nothing or didn't understand something, comment below and I will try to help you out further. And hit that subscribe button if you want. That would help out a lot. Alright, you want to go to, you can either get it in preferences or you can get it in settings. Let's go settings. Oops. Settings. Oops. Stupid thing. Printer. You know what? Let's go to preferences. Oops. Configure reality. Printers. I got the ender3 Max, like I said, and the ender3 V2 Neo. Like I said, they're all the same, so it really kind of doesn't even matter which one you picked. So, let's go to, well, I'm already in it. Well, no. Since I clicked that one, I gotta activate that I want to be in that one. Update firmware, machine settings. Alright. Now let's see if I can get you in here. Alright. You will have your G28, and down below that you'll either have a space or you'll need to make a space, but you want it to get between here, and you want to type in M420 space S1 space Z10, and these letters here have to be capital M, capital S, capital Z. When I first put this in, I wasn't sure. I just typed in M420 dash the S dash the Z 10, and they were not capital, so this did not work at all. These need to be capital, because everything is capital, like you see the capital G's, you know? So those need to be capital, or it won't know. You'll put that in there, and you will hit close, because if you hit the X, it won't save the setting in there. And if you have another printer like I do, you'll go to that one. I have to go to the activate to get these icons here up, because now I'm in the Creality ender3 Max. And the same thing, machine, and you want to put it in the same spot here. I had a space open here, so I just clicked, there. You gotta be all the way over there, and then I typed in the M420-S1-Z10. Like I said, make sure to make those fucking capital, those letters, because it won't work if they're lowercase. Close, it saves the setting. And that is that. Because now it will follow the bed. I would show you guys it following the bed, but you'll see right here, when it goes to do it, you'll watch these numbers go up and down as it moves. The extruder head moves around the bed, and then that's how you'll know that's working. If you don't believe me, and you ain't did that to your slicer, then watch that, and you'll see that never move. Then go in there and do that into yours, and then watch this number. It'll apply the values that it did touching down all over this bed. It'll apply them values into the print. So that way it keeps the perfect distance to your bed while it's printing. That is that, and let me know what you guys think.